Whenever I'm not here, I feel like I'm daydreaming about this place. What if I told you this and this are in the same national park? America's least visited national park, but maybe its most important. It's not a lack of beauty that keeps people from coming. It's actually its stunningly rugged terrain that both draws people and deters them at the same time. Welcome to the North Cascades. Rising like a fortress of rock and ice, the North Cascades are one of the most rugged and remote mountain ranges in North America. But these peaks hold secret stories of fire and ice, of ancient upheaval, and of humanity's enduring quest to protect this wild frontier. This is the story of a landscape millions of years in the making, and the people who fight to preserve it. Long before humans walked these slopes, the North Cascades were born from chaos. Over 200 million years ago, colliding tectonic plates thrust towering peaks skyward. Volcanoes erupted, glaciers carved deep valleys, and rivers sculpted the land into a labyrinth of stone. The rocks here tell a tale of relentless change, of mountains rising and falling, of ice ages grinding valleys deeper, and of rivers rewriting the landscape with every season. Today, the North Cascades are home to more than 300 glaciers, the most in the lower 48 states. These icy remnants of the last ice age continue to shape the land, feeding rivers that sustain entire ecosystems downstream. Today, the North Cascades are often called the American Alps due to their dramatic glacial carved terrain dating back millions of years. Before the Ice Age, the North Cascades were already an actively rising mountain as two plates collided at the Cascadia subduction zone. Ancient stories told of unimaginable shaking and the ocean consuming the landscape. In Japan, a story is told of a strange orphan tsunami. This tsunami originated in the Pacific Northwest. The Cordilleran Ice Sheet, a continental-scale ice sheet that covered much of British Columbia and extended into northern Washington, merging with local glaciers in the North Cascades, was the beginning of the brilliant sculpting of the Pacific Northwest landscape. Stretching 1,380 miles long and 680 miles wide, with a lobe covering up most of what is currently the Puget Sound. Right here at Paisley Caves in Oregon, scientists have made discoveries that changed everything we know about life in North America. The remains of humans dating back 14,000 years. It's believed that Siberians traveled across a bridge of ice that used to span from Siberia all the way to modern-day Alaska, and 1,300 more miles down a frozen ice sheet to reach this place. For some perspective, many of the known wildlife species in Washington aren't known to have existed for more than several hundred years. This land really is ours, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. These settlers are who we now know as the Native Americans. They have been here for 14,000 years. It really does make the rest of us just feel like visitors. In the dense forests and river valleys, black bears roam, masters of adaptation. Whether digging for roots, fishing for salmon, or climbing trees with surprising agility, these omnivores are a keystone of the ecosystem. High above the treeline, where the air thins and the winds howl, mountain goats defy gravity. Their hooves grip impossibly steep cliffs, a testament to evolution's ingenuity. For them, these vertigo-inducing heights are just home. They're called the ghosts of the wilderness. Gray wolves. Rarely seen but deeply vital, they are the apex hunters of these mountains, their presence shaping the land itself. Not all residents live life on the edge. The hoary marmot prefers sunbathing to cliff jumping, spending summers basking on rocks before retreating into hibernation when winter's chill returns. No journey here is more epic than that of the salmon. Fighting currents, leaping waterfalls, they return from the ocean to spawn a cycle that nourishes everything from eagles to otters to the ancient forests themselves. By the late 1800s, the wild beauty of the North Cascades drew prospectors, loggers, and homesteaders. The forests, rich with towering cedars and firs, became a battleground between industry and preservation. The newly formed U.S. Forest Service, established in 1905, sought to manage these lands, but management often meant cutting old-growth trees and building roads deeper into the wilderness. For decades, the North Cascades were seen as a resource to be mined, logged, and tamed. A different vision was taking root, one that saw these mountains not as timber, but as treasure. Finally, on October 2nd, 1968, the North Cascades National Park was born, a crown jewel of the national park system. Alongside it, 2 national recreation areas were established, ensuring that both wilderness and recreation could coexist.
As soon as we get to the snow, we'll put on the crampons.
Glaciers, towering blocks of ice that may be hiding some of the most important discoveries in human history. Maury Pelto has been observing the glaciers of the Cascades for more than 4 decades, and lately he started to feel the weight of the situation. These glaciers are disappearing faster every year, and for Maury, it feels personal.
You're just taking the measurements and trying to understand what's happening so you can tell the story. But then later, when you reflect, it'll get to you.
Murray can tell you firsthand just how much of this glacier has gone missing in recent years. The North Cascades is home to over half of the glaciers in the lower 48 states. I can't begin to describe the importance of this park. It almost protects itself from human interference with its intimidating, jagged peaks.
Like a lot of glaciers, you can see where it's really struggling. There's a wall on the far side of the glacier, a little couloir that goes up, and there's a ton of rocks poking out through that. And that used to be just a smooth snow face. We'd just walk right up it. And so when you start to see rocks emerging from below the glacier in an area that should be an accumulation zone where snow never melts, that's when you know the glacier can't survive.
Glaciers are created by snow that hasn't melted from the past winter, packed with fresh new snow. The weight of the new snow is enough to compress the old layer of snow into a dense, thick sheet of ice. This ice is so heavy that it moves under its own weight, carving valleys and steep cliffs like the ones you see in Iceland or here at the North Cascades. These valleys create a highway for future glacier melt to create rivers and streams in the valley that are the very bedrock of our existence as humans in this area. Every summer, they measure the slope, height, and width of the glaciers.
We'll laser the steepness of the tongue.
Normally this time of year, we expect to see 80% of the glacier covered in snow. In 2025, that number is only at 50%. These glaciers are expected to lose around 4% of their mass just this year. Meet Jill, a crucial part of this summer research team.
It's not a good change because that means the ice is retreating really quickly here.
Jill finds joy in revisiting this area every year and is playing an important part in visually documenting one of the most glaciated places in America. She has almost become a part of the mountain.
I love getting to see these same places every year, and now my relationship with them is so intimate that it's hard not to just want to keep coming and see how they keep changing.
She uses graphs, precise measurements, and data to create art, using the measurements from these trips to turn data into images.
Art can be that connection, I think, between that kind of more factual information that can be technical, can be tough to understand, can be hard to relate to, and it can I think, break some of those barriers.
Today, the North Cascades stand as a testament to resilience, both of nature and of the human spirit. From their violent geological birth to the hard-fought battles for protection, these mountains remind us that some places are too wild to be conquered. They are a refuge for wildlife, for adventure, and for anyone seeking the untamed heart of the Pacific Northwest. This is the North Cascades, a wilderness forged by time, a legacy preserved for generations to come.